dissing, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 boogie like this, and I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all tuning in this episode of the Coma. Much love to the fam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from the favorite sports fam. Shout out to the fam. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you. Of course, this just broke maybe an hour or two ago about Carl Granderson getting a deal. We spoke about this a couple of shows ago. Really good move by the Black and Gold to get Granderson locked in on the contract. So not going to be a long stream, just a quick stream to kind of update the family members on several items of the Saints. And then I'm out of here. I got college football to watch. LSU's coming up soon. So shout out to the fam. Please feel free to hit the like button. By all means, feel free to hit the like button, the subscribe button. And much love to the fam. So with that being said, man, we're going to get into it. Shout out to everybody. OG, Molly Mall, Gundam Sans Q. Let's see. He says, let's go Saints. Congrats to Carl Granderson. Dude stayed humble, kept his head down and worked. And that's what the Black and Gold do. What's up, Kathleen? Shout out to you. Appreciate you, Queen. Much love to you guys. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all having a fantastic weekend in this thing. So anyway, let's keep it going, man. Listen, it was a good move by the Saints to lock in Carl Granderson, to get him under contract for the next 4 years. And of course, really a very commonsensical move, what you was going to do, right? You dealt with Davenport, who was an absolute first-round bust for the Black and Gold, couldn't stay on the field. Our other first-round draft pick, Peyton Turner, has potential. He's dealing with a turf toe. But who's been there? That's who's been constantly there doing great stuff over the years, Carl Granderson. The Saints built Carl up from Wyoming, undrafted guy, and hard work and dedication pays off. Saints extend Carl Granderson's contract 4 years. In a deal, shout out to Niles, who did wrote on it. It's the Adam Schefter tweet inspired it. Saints have inked defensive end Carl Granderson to a lucrative 4-year, $52 million contract. According to the source, the deal includes an impressive $35.3 million in guaranteed money, making it a significant investment in young talent. Granderson's $35.3 million sets a milestone, or a remarkable milestone in NFL history. It's the highest ever for an undrafted defensive lineman over the past 2 decades. That's big. This achievement underscores Saints' unwavering belief in the potential and impact of Carl Granderson on their defense. And of course, you know, Carl Granderson, undrafted out the University of Wyoming, 56 games with the Saints. His 5th year, he earned it. 56 games with the Saints, including 9 starts. Granderson amassed impressive stat lines, boasting 17 sacks in those 56 games, 21 tackles for a loss, 34 quarterback hits. This isn't the first time Saints have shown commitment in Granderson. Back in 22, he signed a 2-year deal with the team, and his performances clearly convinced the Saints front office to further invest into the future. Now, you know, we all realize, and he makes mention of it in this article, about Davenport departing in free agency. Peyton Turner, who's supposed to replace Davenport, is currently dealing with a turf toe situation, but Carl Granderson has been there. It's almost similar to the David Onyemata story, except David Onyemata was drafted, that Onyemata was available when Sheldon Rankins wasn't available. And ultimately, he took advantage of live game reps and built himself into a good defensive interior lineman and made some money for himself here and now with Atlanta. Carl Granderson is just phenomenal. He stayed with it. He's been doing phenomenal things this season. Last year, he had 5.5 sacks, and Carl Granderson is now that guy. He's that guy that'll occupy that side outside of Cam Jordan. So congratulations to Carl Granderson, man, getting the paper, man. So big ups to Carl, man. Hard work pays off. All right, let's switch stories, man, and move to this. The Saints place star running back Jamaal Williams on the IR ahead of the Green Bay matchup. That's right. Hamstring issue. Nonetheless, the Saints will place Jamaal Williams on the IR, and that was kind of unexpected. Thought he would just kind of sit him down for a little bit, but the Saints decided today to put Jamaal Williams on the IR and move forward. So, of course, we know Jamaal Williams signed with the Saints this year in free agency. He had the remarkable 17 rushing touchdowns last year with the Detroit Lions. And with the move, the Saints have the depth chart now of rookie Kendre Miller. He's there. Tony Jones Jr. coming off of 2 touchdowns last matchup. Both Kendre Miller and Tony Jones expected to kind of shoulder the responsibilities in lieu of tied to Taysom Hill as well. And of course, the Saints do have practice squad running backs Jordan Mims and Kirk Merritt if they need to go and do that and make a move in that department. And not to mention that Alvin Kamara, that's right, after this game, week 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after this Green Bay matchup we have tomorrow, AK-41 will be eligible to return to the Saints next week. So this is phenomenal. This is awesome. Those 3 games, have really kind of got to us. We almost a month of football in the NFL, right? We're waiting to get it into the regular season. Now we're almost a month. We got 3 games right here. Tomorrow will be the final game of Elvin's suspension, and we'll get him back against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's good. So we just have to make it through the Green Bay matchup with Kendre Miller, Tony Jones Jr., and then, of course, you throw in there Taysom Hill to kind of help out there as well. And not to mention, another thing that happened as the team also made some moves is they did some other stuff. Is Jonathan Abram and defensive back Cam Dantzler have been elevated from the practice squad to the active roster. And Jonathan Abrams is going to make his his appointment or his appearance as the New Orleans Saints on the active roster. Of course, the Saints did sign Cam Dantzler to the practice squad, and now he will be elevated to the active roster for the matchup. So that's pretty good. As Dantzler was a 3rd-round pick, I think he was, for the Minnesota Vikings. He's a Hammond guy, so he's back here. And, of course, we know about Jonathan Abram. Is a guy that is a veteran guy. He'll knock your block off, but he definitely needs some help in terms of covering the pass in the backfield. So it's some of the news there. So it's interesting. Let's look at the Saints depth chart. Why don't we, as we go forward in this thing? We know we talked about the running back room. We know Jamaal Williams will be out of this thing. Kendre Miller, in Taysom Hill, Tony Jones Jr., those guys be helping in the running back situation. And of course, we look at the secondary, which we talked, there was a story that was covered yesterday or talked about or written at thewhothatdaily.com that talk about the possible, looking at Paulson Adebo. He's dealing with an injury. Of course, Marcus May is suspended over the next 3 games. So you're looking at, a Jordan Howden or a Lonnie Johnson Jr., JT Gray, those guys getting an opportunity to step in there. Paulson Adebo dealing with injury. Could see somebody adjust there. So perhaps the Saints secondary will get tested as well as we get a bit of the suspension bug with Marcus May and, of course, a little injury situation impacting our secondary. So we'll see how that goes. And if, like I've said, the Saints have good depth there if they need to pull through. And like we said, Jonathan Abram is they're elevating him and Cam Dantzler from the practice squad in anticipation of what could possibly happen there going into the game tomorrow. So we'll just have to monitor it, man. And it's going to be pretty fun watching it all go down. So, all right. But shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all having a fantastic Saturday. I just wanted to pop in with you guys and talk about a little news right there on the stream. Shout out to everybody, man. Much love. All right. Let me see a few. I'll take a few things, man, in this thing as well. Give me a few questions if you guys got. What's up, Uncle Paulie? It says Saints 21. Okay, the Packers. He's giving it to the Packers 27-21. Packers. Uncle Paul says the Packers. You got faith in Jordan Love. Okay, Uncle Paulie's giving Jordan Love the thing. All right, peace woke says we've learned from letting go of Trey Henderson. Okay, thank you for that, bro. All right, Uncle Paulie says we got to face the fact Saints are not going to the Super Bowl, and if they do, they're not winning. The NFL is not going to let a Super Bowl run this season. Facts. All right, Uncle Paulie's saying the Saints ain't going anywhere. I don't know, Uncle Paulie. The Saints got a pretty agreeable schedule. If the Saints are, and listen, I understand a lot of the hesitation about it, but listen, we only 2 games in. It's way too premature to talk like this right now because, and I know you are the great Saint think tank historian. You've seen a lot of stuff over the years, but to me, it's too premature. We're only 2 games into the season. The 3rd game is going to be tomorrow. A lot of the teams we face, these guys have rookie quarterbacks, Indianapolis and all these other guys. We get Texans. All these guys got rookie quarterbacks. And some of the veteran quarterbacks are teams that we're playing. They're struggling right now. That doesn't mean that they'll be struggling when we get to them later on in the season. But the Saints just need to get on code. I had just did a video for our Patreon and our YouTube membership family. Y'all can check that out. It's on Patreon. It's on also on our YouTube membership channel. Kind of reacted. We went over the highlights from the Saints and Panthers matchup. That's available for you guys to check out as well. And we kind of break down everything. The drives, 2 of the drives, I kind of was pinpointing on 2 of the drives. I did the whole thing, but 2 drives in particular, when the Saints were down there and kick field goals as opposed to score, kind of looked at that thing. And of course, like one of the touchdowns where the Saints had when Carr had an opportunity to find Tony Jones and he was a bit impatient and they just couldn't get, together. It's not just one particular item, like going over the film, looking at it. It's not one particular item what's going on with our offense. It's several things that are happening all at once. And the only way that'll be fixed is if these guys continue to practice, continue to go to work on Sundays and play their hardest. I do realize that it's not a perfect picture, but in most cases, some cases that, you winning like that, they're winning with guts. You see, they're winning with guts and I can appreciate it. The games are still very entertaining, but they're winning with guts, but it's not just one thing that's happening here. You see offensive line breakdowns, guys getting beat here. You see Carr holding the ball too long. You see Carr thinking too much, like is in the film breakdown. I was showing how Carr is thinking way too much, man. He needs to just play. His clock is not right. He's in the shotgun. I was showing the plays where he was in the shotgun on 2nd and 7, 2nd and 11. On the 2nd down, he's in the shotgun, which is giving him the ability to span and see the field more. And he is in the shotgun and steps back and has an opportunity to find guys, either to check down or go to the tight end. In this particular play that I'm referring to was Juwan Johnson, who was lined up off the hip of the left tackle. Juwan Johnson is not covered. The guy is covering Juwan is 10 yards off of him. Juwan goes up and then across the face of the quarterback, and Carr is looking toward the slot man. I think it was going toward the slot wide receiver, but Juwan Johnson was crossing his face and he just was staring downfield. Now he had time to throw the ball, but he was staring at that wide receiver, waiting for him to break and get open, and it never came. The line collapsed. He got it. That clock is off in his head. That 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You don't see what you like, check it down, get the damn ball out of your hands. So I seen some of that going on. I seen breakdowns on the offensive line, and then really the big thing I seen was the connection of timing. These offenses, especially the West Coast offense, and majority of these offenses are based on timing. If the timing is disrupted, it'll be disjointed. The play won't work properly. So the plays, we talk about play calling, you see what Carmichael and the rest of these guys are calling and Curry are calling these plays, and it don't look good because the execution is bad. So if the execution is off, it's going to make not only the players on the field look bad, but the guys that's calling the plays look bad as well. So the execution has to improve. And that has all of that. And the only way you fix all of that stuff is these guys got to get up every day. They got to get up and go to work, and they got to play their hardest. They got to get used to playing next to the guy next to him. Carr has to be able to get used to playing, learning his playbook a little bit more and executing offense. And the Saints really need to develop and get that running game going to take the pressure off of Carr and run the damn ball. That's really what they need to do. But anyway, like I said, it's just too damn early for me to be saying, like Uncle Paul is saying, I don't think they're going nowhere. Well, I hear you, Uncle Paul. I ain't gonna never disparage what you say, but to me, my friend, it's just too damn early. It's too damn early, and we 2-0 right now. I might be feeling a little way if I was the Carolina Panthers and I'm 0-2, and here come Andy Dalton, and I got to go up to Seattle. I might be feeling in my feelings on that kind of stuff. My quarterback is down. I'm going to Andy. I might be in my feelings, but we 2-0 tied for first place in the NFC South. So my feelings, my energy is trending in the positive direction. I'm looking in the positive direction. I don't see it as a bad. That you're still playing the way you are and still winning games is a plus, not a minus. That means that they have the will. They will get most of this stuff together because it's timing based. All right. So anyway, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being here. Shout out to everybody, man. All right. Yeah. All right. Yes. Okay. Colorado. I'm not even looking at the game. I was working on some other stuff, but I'm going to take a look at it. All right. Kim says your team 2-0. It's a lot left. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And people agreeing with me. True says, what's up, bro? Says Melissa, they're getting humble, especially with the, we knew eventually. You look at what Deion Sanders did a lot of stuff. Remember this team, I think last year won 2 games. He totally just took the program apart and put it back together. And Deion Sanders is a Hall of Fame cornerback, one of the best that ever do it. He's a really good analyst, was a good analyst on television. He has a really good ability to relate to current players. He's a motivational speaker, and he's been through a lot. So, and plus he has a successful demeanor that people want to be around guys like a Deion Sanders, and he's a celebrity. So he can bring attention to you like he did that with Jackson. When he went to Jackson State, he bring the attention. If Deion wanted Walmart to repair the Jackson State field, they did it. He brings in the car. He's just a really smart dude and cool. And he was doing some stuff, but I think the hype is getting a little bit too much right now. And, with that first loss, they can kind of settle in and we can kind of move beyond that because it was a fire. It kind of lit the fuse in Colorado. But if he loses today, then that'll kind of settle things down and they can get back to the business of football without all the hype. They got a loss, big deal. We can build on that. So, yeah. So that's how I look at it. Hemisphere says we all can agree with the way the offense is playing just isn't good enough. He says, I like to hear how much the Saints team is good enough to go to Super Bowl. I just don't see that right now. A lot of stuff have to be fixed. We know that, but there's still plenty of time. That's the point, and I agree. We just have to work on it. Paul says, don't worry, Dennis Allen will get a reality check when he don't win a division, fail to win when the council line is mincemeat. Saints supporters take the rose-colored glasses off. Eric says 24-21 Saints. I think defense continues to stand strong. Offense will be a little bit better this week. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. All right. Thank you, Paulie. Melissa says, hope our guys play strong tomorrow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well, man. I want to see the Saints, and I said this, the third and fourth week of the season is usually when you see improvement from a really good team. Now, we've seen incremental improvement, like from week 1 to week 2. We've seen a play, offensively speaking, a little bit better. Defense has been awesome. Our special teams has been awesome. The offense just needs to catch up. And I'm telling you, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing is timing. It's timing. If we can get the ball out, he has to get the ball out, get it to where it belongs. Stop thinking so much. So, I mean, you study the film tell you everything was going on. Like there was plays that Carr himself left on the field because he holding the ball too long. Like he was in a shotgun and they had pressure, Justin Houston and Brian Burns pressuring, and Trevor Penning and Ryan Ramczyk sent those guys around Derek Carr. He steps up in the pocket, had an opportunity to throw the ball to Juwan Johnson on the cross route, and he just didn't do it. It's just he was trying to get the ball downfield because see, his mind is his first pass is always the deep pass. That's his favorite pass, is to get the ball downfield. That's his best throw. That's what he loves to do. Take the strike. You got Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, guys like that. I would be kind of, motivated to do that too, but you got to think. Sometimes you have to be able to think and say, okay, I see that guy there, but listen, I see this guy right here. Let me check it down to Juwan Johnson 5 yards away from me. Let him get the first down. We set up a the downs and everything. But, another thing is the Saints have to work on running the ball better to kind of take the pressure off, of course, so we can get the play action going, because that can kind of that makes life a lot easier. But like another thing to make mention of, and I'm gonna move on, was the fact that he threw the ball out the back of the end zone in the Carolina game. I covered it on that, and you had a Michael Thomas in a one-on-one with a cornerback in the front left corner of the end zone, and Carr throws it out the back. Now he did have pressure that shot around, that ended around, that came through, and you could see the guy flash, and then at the last minute he was preparing to take the shot. But which is a play I would prefer over an interception that he threw, which was just because he had that play, he had plenty of time. He was able to go through. He had plenty of time. There was no pass rush on him. He just threw in the triple coverage. That was just stupid. But that interception, when he threw it out the back of the end zone, you got to remember, if Mike Thomas is one-on-one with a cornerback in there, 98% of the time he coming down with that ball in that end zone, you just get it to him. Try to get it in the vicinity. But anyway, more stuff that we can work on, more stuff that we can improve upon. Kim says, I don't understand why people don't want DA to fail. If DA fails, your team fails. I don't know how. He says, y'all fan him. Y'all want to praise his defense. You want to praise his defense and not give him the praise for you absolutely right, Kim. Absolutely right. Now, people don't like Dennis Allen. Listen, based on what he did last year, that was last year. This year, it's a different thing. The man's still over the team. A lot of people wanted to see him go, including me, but the team held on to him. They gave him even more money, even more resources to hire people that he felt comfortable with. So with that being said, now that we know that they're not going to cut him loose and that they actually are sticking to him, it don't do us no good to harp on what he did last year when the team is playing right now. The team is 2-0 right now. He didn't do that last year. I don't know if Dennis Allen ever started out his career coaching 2-0. I don't think that's ever happened as a head coach, that he started out as a head coach 2-0. I don't think I've seen it. They didn't do that last year, if my memory serves correct. So, yeah, you got it's changes done been made to the team. And only one thing that needs to be seen right now, and that's to see if the team could put all this together. And right now they're 2-0. Now, granted, the offense, like I've said, and I've said that multiple times in this small stream, that the offense is struggling. The passing offense is definitely struggling. The running offense is struggling too, because the offensive line is kind of shaky. So the quarterback is going to be shaky. But there are adjustments that you can make for a shaky offensive line. You know what I'm saying? You know what you can do. You can, you can do extended running plays. You can roll the quarterback out towards sides, whether you roll him out to the right to cut the field off so he can find a wide receiver that way. Quarterback rollouts, passing, what they call them, extended running plays, when you just throw the ball down there or set up a tight end or a wide receiver screen down to Rashid Shaheed, let the blocker set up and see if he can get yardage that way. There's a multitude of different things, but I think a lot of what I'm seeing from a perspective of the Saints is this: right now, they did better than what they did in the first game and the second game. So in the third game, as they continue to play together and they stay healthy, you will see improvement from these guys. You'll see, because they're not garbage. The Saints players are not garbage. What you're seeing is you're seeing them learning to play together. It takes a little bit for that to happen. You're talking 3 to 4 weeks into a regular season, because they don't play them in the preseason. So you getting what would happen in the preseason and the regular season now, if you get me. All right. So anyway, all right, let's keep it going, man. Shout out to everybody. 504 Coach True Louisiana, Molly Mall, and everybody. Good to see y'all out here in the chat. Much love to y'all. Jeremy, I see you, fam. All right, Hebrew Aboriginal says, instead of hitting Johnson on that play, he hopped up again and got sacked. Johnson was wide open in the middle. Yeah, you know just what I'm talking about, Hebrew. Yeah, you talking about the play. They bent around him. He stood up in the pocket, and I don't know what he was doing, because there was Louvu. I think it was Louvu. The linebacker was there. And instead of throwing the ball, he tried to hop past Louvu like he didn't see him. And Louvu said, "What you doing?" Grabbed him and sacked him. I was like, what? But it's all a part of the process, man, because he was looking deep. He wanted to get that ball upfield. That's his first mindset, because he got a gunslinger mentality. He likes to get that ball downfield. but he has to understand to be smarter when that throw ain't there. He got to check it down to an easier throw. You will always get an opportunity to take that shot down the field later on. And I think he'll get it, you know. All right. True says nope, he hasn't the first in them. Yeah, we gotta. I don't want, and I've said this multiple times. Dennis Allen has done a wonderful job with the defenses. Dennis Allen's defense and his calls on the defense is keeping the Saints in these games. Is that in the special team? So you got to give him credit for that. Give credit where credit is due, you know. And then that's how you fair parent. You give credit where credit is due, and you lambaste or you take away credit or you correct when things are not, I ain't gonna say land-based, but you kind of get stuff together, you get it straightened out, or you get some straightening, as they say, when it come down, when you're making errors or what have you, you dig? But you give credit when credit is due, and credit is due. The defense is keeping the Saints in these games, especially the first and second games. It's pinning their offenses down so they can't score, while the Saints offense is struggling to score. The defense getting turnovers, getting sacks, getting them off the field, and doing a fantastic job to keep the game close. So the offense, when it finally comes together, we can put it all together. So indeed. All right. Shout out to the fam. Good to see y'all. Paul, pull my finger. Shout out to you. All right. All right, Kim says, James, not the QB car. Yes, Paul, you okay? Okay, Uncle Paul is gonna be setting his ways, fam. That's how Uncle Paul is. All right, Jerome says, yes, great move, Granderson. If we have waited and he gets 10 to 12 sacks this season, price much higher. Yeah, the Saints did a wonderful job of kind of getting Granderson, and we kind of talked about that because when Peyton Turner went down, fam, it's become very obvious and clear. That the Saints were looking at Carl Granderson. I didn't think I was like, man, they're going to have to pay that man. We did the live stream, the watch party last week. I'm like, Carl Granderson was cutting up. He was making tackles. I think he got a sack in the game, and he was out there flashing on plays. He was unblockable. So I was like, man, they're going to have to pay that man because Carl Granderson out there showing out, and Peyton Turner on the injury. He's a first-round draft pick. And listen, when they came into the season, the Saints they were looking at Peyton Turner to make him the guy. But Carl Granderson was playing well in the preseason and the training camps, and he stayed ahead of Peyton Turner. Then when the season started, Carl was the starter. You know, he opens the season as a starter. That's the first time that, you know, that happened in his young career, that he opened the season as a starter. He had 5.5 sacks last year as a reserve guy. And now that he's the starter, he was doing really well. And the question was, can Carl Granderson set the edge? That was the question, in like consistent, like how would he react to starting a full game reps? Could he set the edge consistently? Could he do such a the athleticism or the ability to kind of rush the pass? So we know Carl Granderson can do that. But, you know, could he do that? And he showed in the first 2 games it was enough for the Saints to say, man, let's go ahead and lock Carl down, because we got this busted ass Davenport. He's gone. And we got Peyton Turner sitting up on the IR. These are 2 first-round draft picks. We put pick capital on, and we're not getting our fair goods on these guys. But you got an undrafted guy from Wyoming who outperforming both of those first-round draft picks. So credit to Carl Granderson. And credit to the New Orleans Saints for making that happen. Shout out to you, Lori. Good to see you, baby. Hope everything going okay with you. All right. KB, shout out to you. Good to see you. Brother James says DA get fired. The Sensations will pick him up off the waist with the zesty walk. Okay, yeah, thank you. The zesty walk. All right, Piece to Work says I had to pay Granderson. Unbelievable what he's doing. He's been a disruptor so far. Yeah, he gonna continue that, bro. That's only motivation for him, bro. Only motivation for him. Darius says he put on more size too, but slim and tall. Yeah, Granderson's 6'5". I think he's like 270 plus. But the thing I like about Carl Granderson is not only his athleticism, he's smart. He's always had the gift of being able to rush the passer and do that kind of stuff. But it's the other stuff that involved that make you a complete end. Then that's what remember we did the show with Cam was referencing and talking about the onus that's put on pass rushers. A pass rusher is not a complete defensive end, according to Cam Jordan. And Cam is right. You know, it's like, okay, this guy just does this. He rushes the passer, gets to the quarterback, and we talking about this. But what about the complete defensive end? The guy that not only rushes the passer, but also sets the edge, plays the run. That's Davenport. That's not Davenport. That's Granderson, and that's Cam Jordan. Those guys do a wonderful job. And plus, Carl is available. He's available there. He's I don't remember Carl Granderson being hurt. He's always available. But then again, he did most of his stuff as a reserve defensive lineman. He came in there when he had to. And a lot of these guys like Davenport and Peyton Turner, with them being banged up, allowed Granderson to get a lot of reps. And he developed, he got the paper. Credit to the Saints doing that. And that just brings more undrafted talent to us because the Saints are making and finding these undrafted guys, and they finding a way onto the team, contributing, and then they getting broke off. They getting a bag. And when that happens, that make everybody happy. So it's good, man. So anyway, with that being said, man, listen, man, I appreciate all y'all for jumping in on this stream. I'm not going to keep y'all. I'm about to check out LSU in a little bit here, check out some more college football. I just wanted to pop in on y'all. We did the Pelican post-game report show early today for our Pelican people. We did that. Y'all check out the whothatdaily.com for all the latest articles on the Saints. Feel free to share the articles for the writers. They're doing a fantastic job. If you want to help out the platform, shout out to all of our new subscribers and our YouTube members and Patreon champions as that continues to grow. All of that funds the platform. All of that does positive things as we continue to keep the movement moving forward. And we just doing a do. So anyway, with that being said, we're gonna get on that. I'm gonna make sure I pop up here for the game for tomorrow. The live stream will be doing the game live again. If you want to join in and join in, turn your television down and put me on. We're going to be up in there having a ball. You know how I do. We be having fun. So with that being said, I'm going to hop out on that. Let me just throw this at piece. The Woke says off topic. I think Sheed have been the Lance Moore, Devery Henderson, Robert Meacham will be looking for Sheed and Olave a top 10 deep threat. And there's Scary Young. Yeah, indeed. We got good talent here. Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Rudy. Good to see y'all, man. Appreciate you for being in the stream. And I'm going to get on out of there, man. Pull my finger says, I dig this move. Carl Granderson seems to get better every time I see him play. He does, man. Carl Granderson is and Cam Jordan together. It's really a good disruptive force. We had and think about over the next two games that we've seen against pretty good players, where the Carolina Panthers line, was kind of, whatever. But they are getting to the quarterback. They're getting around it. They're causing disruptions. Cam several times against Carolina had an opportunity, almost got Bryce Young. It was a couple of times Cam was chasing him down, just missed him. It was a time where Cam pushed the guy in his lap. Cam tried to reach around and grab the guy's arm, and he just kind of moved out of the way. So, I mean, the Saints getting constant pressure on these opposing quarterbacks, and that's what you got to do. And I'm just happy that we have that Granderson locked in. So that'll be more motivation for him to continue to do what he do. All right, James, thank you, bro. He says them reporters are licking their chops to get at Deion in his press conference post game. How do you explain the loss, Deion? Well, you lose. I mean, what prime time is 2-1 now. That means everybody can settle down and we can focus on winning. It got a little hot there. A loss cools them off. Now they can focus on getting better without all the hype. A loss kind of brings them back down and takes the press off of them. And, they played really well, but that Oregon team is good. That's a good team. That team, I think they top I forgot what their ranking is, but that team is a good team. It was also funny. I seen a mascot come out with the Deion Sanders hat and the glasses on, and he had a stick, and he walked up to the it was a clock, and he started beating the y'all seen that with the mascot? I thought that was pretty funny. The mascot had the Deion Sanders gold glasses on with the Deion Sanders cowboy hat. He walked out there with that on, and they had a prime time. It was a cardboard. They painted white, and they had prime time on the clock, and he just started beating it, and then his head fall. The thing hit him in the face and knocked his mascot head off, and he had to run back to the locker room. So, that was pretty funny seeing that. That was funny. All right, so anyway, thank you. Appreciate you, James, for that, man. Much love. Thank you, sir.
I want to say thank you very much for picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
All right, so with that being said, let me get out on that. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow on the next stream. Y'all feel free to join me tomorrow. We're going to have a ball. Much love to the Whodats, and I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shop.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.